Every structure begins at ground level. In the blueprint, that ground is consciousness meeting matter. When you arrive at the root, you're no longer searching for meaning in collapse or illumination in surrender. You're studying what stability truly is. Stability is not the absence of movement. It's the intelligence of form learning how to hold flow. It's how awareness becomes architecture. Everything that comes later, creativity, purpose, expansion, it all depends on how well you learn this first principle. At the root, the soul does not seek transcendence, it studies endurance. It studies rhythm. It learns that healing is not the removal of pain, but the regulation of contact with life. The root teaches you how to remain present with experience without fragmenting from it. This isn't a spiritual metaphor, it's neurological reality. When the body perceives threat, it constricts. When it perceives safety, it expands. The root work is the retraining of that perception. It's how the nervous system learns that life can be held without defense. So the question of this phase isn't, what am I manifesting? It's, what can I hold? A nervous system that can't hold safety will seek chaos to stay familiar. A mind that doesn't trust stillness will invent problems to stay occupied. A heart that hasn't practiced regulation will confuse intensity for love. The root dismantles these confusions by restoring your capacity to stay in contact with truth. Every moment you resist your own grounding, you repeat an old identity that equated stillness with danger. Every moment you practice staying, you rewrite that identity into presence. The root is the study of containment. In physics, containment allows energy to concentrate. In consciousness, containment allows awareness to evolve. You're not suppressing emotion. You're containing energy long enough for it to transform instead of discharge. Think of it like this. Chaos is energy that has lost containment. Stability is energy remembering its boundary. Your boundary is not a wall, it's an intelligent membrane. It allows life to flow through you without flooding you. This is why the root stage is called the foundation of embodiment. Until you can learn to hold your own life energy, no higher gate can remain stable. Expansion without grounding collapses. Vision without structure dissolves. At the root, you're laying the laws that all future creativity must obey. The first law is presence. Presence is the recognition that awareness itself is structural. Whatever you fully witness begins to organize. Whatever you ignore begins to decay. So every time you bring attention to your breath or your sensations or even your posture, you're already engineering coherence in your field. The second law is rhythm. Life organizes through repetition. Your cells regenerate through cycles. Your psyche stabilizes through ritual. Repetition teaches the subconscious that existence continues. When you repeat grounding actions at consistent intervals, you communicate safety to every layer of your system. The third law is contact. Healing is not achieved by escaping discomfort. It's achieved by meeting it correctly. When pain arises, the old self withdraws. The new self stays long enough to translate the signal. Pain becomes information and fear becomes direction. Tension becomes strength. The fourth law is capacity. Expansion's not measured by how much light you hold, but by how much reality you can include. Capacity is the measure of integration. The root's not asking you to eliminate density. It's asking you to metabolize it. Density becomes fuel when consciousness holds it without rejection. Now let's connect these psychological mechanics to the metaphysical structure. In blueprint language, the root is the gravitational field of the soul. It's the point where divine intelligence touches physical law. Every pattern of consciousness must pass through this gate to become real. This means your relationship with form determines the stability of your creation. If your energy remains ungrounded, your visions scatter. If your emotions remain unprocessed, your creations distort. If your body remains disconnected, your guidance can't translate into action. So grounding is not just spiritual maintenance, it's creative precision. Imagine your consciousness as architecture. The root is the foundation slab. Its density is sacred because it carries the weight of everything else above it. When you strengthen this level, you're not becoming heavier, you're becoming capable. That's why the root work isn't glamorous. It feels repetitive and ordinary and even slow. But repetition is what tells the subconscious that a new reality is safe to inhabit. Integration never happens at the speed of insight. It happens at the speed of regulation. When you choose to cook consciously, to walk consciously, to breathe consciously, you're encoding the new structure into matter. You're teaching your biology to cooperate with your awareness. That's the science behind spirituality. In trauma theory, regulation occurs when the prefrontal cortex remains online during emotional activation. In metaphysical terms, grounding occurs when the higher self remains online during embodiment. Both are describing the same process: consciousness staying connected through sensation, rather than fleeing from it. Your practice at the root is not ascension, but inclusion. It's bringing the highest awareness into the densest layer of your existence until even the most ordinary becomes sacred. When you feel resistance, don't intellectualize it, don't pathologize it, study it. Resistance is the body requesting proof that it's safe to stay. Give it that proof through rhythm and breath and attention. When you feel numbness, don't interpret it as absence. It's the nervous system recalibrating from overload. Stay long enough for the sensation to return. When you feel the impulse to escape through fantasy or stimulation or speed, recognize it as the echo of an old survival pattern. Choose stillness and watch the pattern lose its power. This is what the Blueprint calls building coherence between heaven and earth. The mind learns trust. The body learns peace. Together, they form the architecture of embodiment. By the end of this stage, your nervous system won't need the external permission to feel safe. Your sense of belonging won't depend on approval or prediction. It'll live in direct contact with your life. That's the meaning of true grounding, belonging without condition. So as you go through this week, remember that you're not rehearsing a spiritual performance. You're conducting a neurological recalibration. Each breath is data, and each repetition is code. Each act of presence rewires the architecture of selfhood from reaction to regulation. You're building a body that can hold a soul. And when that structure is strong enough, the next gate, the sacral, will open naturally. That gate will teach you movement and creation and desire. But none of that can sustain without the gravity that you establish right here. The root's not where you begin the journey. It's where the journey becomes real. You're not practicing to be grounded. You're discovering that the ground has always been consciousness remembering itself through you. That's the lesson of the root gate. Form is not a prison. It's the proof that spirit has chosen to stay.